Today we're going to talk about how to find the lateral area, surface area, and volume of a cone. So I have a cone here. It has a diameter of 12 and a height of 6. The lateral area formula for a cone is pi r L, where L is the slant height, which would be this piece right here. That's L. Surface area would be the lateral area plus the bases, and in this case I only have one base. That base is a circle, so my lateral area is pi r L plus the area of the circle, which is pi r squared. And then the volume is going to be 1/3 pi r squared h. Notice this is just like the volume formula for a cylinder. The only difference is we have this 1/3 because a cone is the volume of a cone is 1/3 of whatever a cylinder is. Alright, so you'll notice we need the radius and the slant height and the height of the cone itself in order to get all the pieces we need for our lateral area, surface area, and volume formulas. So again, we need to get the radius, the slant height, which is this slant right here, and the height of the cone itself. We know that the height of our cone is 6 according to this picture, so h is 6. Again, the diameter is 12, so the radius is always half of that, so the radius is also 6. So all I need to know from here is the slant height. You'll notice we have a lovely triangle, like we usually do. It's a right triangle, so I can set up a right triangle. The height is 6. Again, I'm only using this piece, so that piece is 6 as well, and then L here. That's my slant height, so I can use the Pythagorean theorem to get L. So L squared equals 6 squared plus 6 squared, so L is the square root of 72. Now that I have all the pieces I need for my formulas, I can just plug it in. So lateral area is pi times the radius times the slant height, which gives me 159.94 centimeters squared. Surface area is always the lateral area plus the bases, and in this case we only have one base, which is a circle, so that's pi r squared. So our surface area ends up being 273.04 centimeters squared. Volume is always 1/3 pi the radius squared times the height. So that ends up getting us 226.19 centimeters cubed. Let's do another one. We have a cone here. It has a diameter of 24. So again, since it's diameter, we know we'll have to take half to get the radius. We know this height that it makes a right angle. That this angle right up here is 60 degrees. That's all we know. So if we go back to our formulas here, remember we always need the radius, which we know is going to be half of the diameter, so we can get that. But we also need the slant height and the height to get our formulas. If you look, we have a right triangle and we have an angle. So we're going to use trigonometry to find the missing pieces. So I'm taking up this half of the triangle here. I'm going to cut the 24 in half, so this is going to make a 12. This angle, remember, is 60 degrees. So if I want to find the height first, that'll be this side here. So now I'm just going to use my trig. Across from the 90-degree angle is always our hypotenuse. this is my angle, across from the angle is always opposite, which means the height is the adjacent side. So I have adjacent and opposite, which is the trig function tangent. So we're going to take the tangent of 60 equals opposite over adjacent. Now remember the shortcut, if our unknown is on the bottom, we can just switch these two right here. So h is 12 over tangent of 60. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode. 12 divided by the tangent of 60 is 6.9. Now the slant height, I'm going to have to set up another triangle to get the slant height. This is 60 degrees. This is 12 down here again. This is my slant height. Across from the 60 is my opposite side. Across from the 90 is the hypotenuse. Oh, scoot this up a little bit for you. So this side is the adjacent. So again, I'm just using trigonometry where across from the 90 is the hypotenuse, across from the angles are opposite side. This is the adjacent. I have opposite and hypotenuse here because I'm looking for the slant height. So that's the sine function. So the sine of 60 is opposite over hypotenuse. Again, since the variable's on the bottom, we can switch them. So that means the slant height is 12 divided by the sine of 60. And that gives us 13.86. So I know my height now, I know my slant height, and since we know our diameter is 24, then our radius has to be 12. And now we have all the pieces, so we can just plug them in. The lateral area of a cone is pi r L, so I'll take pi times my radius and my slant height, which is 13.86. And that gives us 522.37, and this is in feet. I forgot to write that. So that'll be feet squared. Surface area is always the lateral area plus the base, so that would be pi r squared, which gives me a surface area of 974.76 feet squared. And then the volume is always 1/3 pi r squared times my height of 6.9, which gives me a volume of 1040.50 feet cubed.